Good morning, children. The topic for today is critical analysis of deep water. We had already learnt about the development of the story and main points of the story in our previous presentation. So here we shall focus on critical analysis of deep water. You all know the story now. You must have gone through the text, so you know all the basic details of the story. So let us proceed further for this critical appreciation or analysis of the lesson. In this video, I have included about the author, just again to remind you about his basic information, then basic introduction of the lesson, just to brush up basic details, and then major focus is on critical analysis. It includes vocabulary analysis, theme of the lesson, that is central idea, character sketches, main character sketches. Character sketches means qualities of different characters. Then analysis of different settings used. After that, the very important lesson is life lessons or life skills used in the lesson, which are great learning for the reader. So what are these life lessons learned and to be imbibed? Then author's viewpoint. After that, finally, justification of the title, Deep Water. Then in the end, I have written assignments. You will do those assignments in your notebook. We all know now about the author, Mr. William Orville Douglas. Okay, this was included in last presentation also. He was a leading advocate of individual rights. He was also a judge at the Supreme Court of USA. He retired in 1975 and his term was for 36 years as Supreme Court Chief Justice. And in the history, he is known as the longest serving justice of the court. See, you can recapitulate your knowledge. Deep Water. It is an excerpt from his work of Men and Mountain. It is an autobiographical account and real account of his life, and it is written in first person narrative style. Okay, in short, William O. Douglas talks about how he overcomes his fear of water through hard work, courage, and willpower. The fear vanishes when one takes the courage to face it. Therefore, by taking courage, it shows how our fears are baseless. Dangers are created by fear, and therefore the writer at the end justifies the quote, "Where there is a will, there is a way." This particular patch has been taken from brainly.in website. Now let us proceed further. Different parts of critical analysis. Vocabulary analysis. Vocabulary I have divided into three parts. First part, some words and meanings to enrich your diction which are specifically used in the text. Treacherous, it means dangerous, unreliable. Overpowering means overwhelming. Aping means imitating. Bruiser, bully or mischievously dominating person. Rippling, swelling, bulging. Duct, it means pushed underwater. Irresistible, overwhelming. Pounding, rhythmical beating or throbbing of heart. Oblivion, unconsciousness. Bass or bass, a common term for many different species of fish used in the lesson. Trout, a freshwater fish. Slack, lessen or reduce. Vestiges, traces or remains of something that is disappearing or no longer exists. Second part of vocabulary is some phrases which have been used in the text. Subdued my pride. It means overcame feeling ashamed of anything. Bob to the surface like a cork. Move up quickly to the water surface like a piece of cork. Flailed at the surface. Swung arms or legs violently on the surface. curtain of life fell, as if life ended or death has come. Fishing on landlocked salmon, fishing for edible fish, trapped by being cut off from the sea, back and forth across the pool, one way and the other across the pool. These are the some of the phrases which are used in the text, will help you to understand text in better manner. Third part of vocabulary analysis, it includes those words, those phrases which are exclusively used in swimming or water sports. So this set of vocabulary is water sports or swimming specific diction. Number 1 is water wings. It is an apparatus in the shape of inflated waterproof bags that can be fixed to the arms to help someone learn swimming. Second is surf, a mass of foam formed by waves breaking on a sea shore. Paddled, moved through the water. Locker room, changing room of the pool. We all know there is always a locker room in the pool. Crawl stroke, a stroke in which the swimmer lies flat on the water with face submerged and take overhand arm stroke while moving his legs up and down. With this, vocabulary analysis comes to an end. Now, let us move on to next part, that is theme of the lesson. Here, central theme of the lesson is narrator's fear of water and his finally triumph over that fear. We see this particular thought line is, it is spread throughout in the lesson. All the incidents and events of the lesson, they are actually closely associated with this central idea. So the theme line is the fear of the narrator of the water, deep water, and his triumph over that fear. So to elaborate this central theme, that is narrator's fear and his triumph over that fear, can be written down, can be elaborated under these points. If it comes in the examination, you can use these points and you can write a good answer. So it goes like this: the childhood fear of a person and his indomitable spirit to fight this fear, to overcome it. Actually, this is the meaning of this particular theme statement. What it conveys the idea that fear in any form of any sort is a great impediment, a great obstacle in the path of positive development and progress in one's life. It is that negative feeling which paralyzes person's cognitive, affective and psychomotor domains. Now the question arises, what are these three domains? These three domains are: cognitive means your ability to recognize something, to identify something. Affective domain of your personality, it focuses on your critical thinking, that is your power and ability to make decisions in the need of the hour. And psychomotor domain, it is related to your oral skills. Okay, so these three are affected very badly because of fear. Okay, and it develops many negative thoughts and qualities in the person, like lack of decision making, cowardice in the timely actions, telling lies for self-protection, selfishness, lack of improvement and weak willpower, etc. It cannot be avoided, but yes, with great self-motivation it can be overcome. It can be overcome with persistent and consistent efforts, sense of optimism, firm determination and strong willpower. So, with this we can overcome this demon, that is fear. Very apt statement has been quoted by William Douglas, which was spoken by Roosevelt once upon a time. That is, all we have to fear is fear itself. Okay? A misadventure at the YMCA pool developed an aversion of water in Douglas, and he suffered from hydrophobia. And the rest of the journey, we all know how he was able to come out from this hydrophobia. The chapter focuses on the fact that childhood fears must be treated seriously, and role of parents is of paramount importance over here. If these are not tackled properly at the same time, these may make deep inroads, deep scars into one's psychology. And after suffering from such kind of fear for a long period of time, that personality becomes abnormal personality. Some kind of gap, some kind of gap is always found in that person throughout his life. That's it. So after moving from main theme, we find out two sub-themes which are highlighted in the story Deep Water. Number one is psychological analysis of fear. Psychological analysis of fear in a person, and also to overcome that fear. Both have psychology of both the persons have been highlighted in the story. Two statements are very important here. Number one, it is not death but the fear of death that scares one and all. Death is peaceful. All we have to fear is the fear itself, and we must fight this phobia or fear, otherwise it will overpower us. Second sub-theme is past memories, whether pleasant or unpleasant. They can leave an indelible or deep impact on human mind. So we should not create any situation which fill our life with unpleasant memories. Next major part of critical analysis is characters. So we see there are four characters in the story. The main character, whose role is being depicted in the entire story. He is narrator W.O. Douglas himself. We can call him hero of the story because ultimately he got victory over his enemy, that is fear. And other are three supporting characters. One, big bully boy. Number two, swimming instructor. Number three, narrator's mother. So role is not big, but role is very important because they bring important development in the story. That's why these three supporting characters are equally important as the main character. Now if we go for character sketches of supporting characters, I have highlighted two supporting characters. Number one, big bully boy. He was probably 18 years old, not clearly told in the story. He had big muscular strength. So he had thick hair on his chest, a handsome physical specimen with his hands and legs showing rippling muscles. He was the one who threw Douglas in the pool and brought further development in the story. So we can call him as main cause or main reason to convert fear of Douglas into hydrophobia. Douglas had fear of water. It was fear, at very low stage, but it terminated into hydrophobia because of this unpleasant experience at YMCA pool, where the main reason was this big bully boy. Second important supporting character is swimming instructor. His role play as an instructor of Douglas is very important. He taught him swimming in proper manner, in systematic manner, all the strategies, how to save, how to secure himself in the water, in the deep water. He taught him all the strokes. He taught him inhaling, exhaling, kicking, and other strokes of swimming. Means William Douglas was a perfect swimmer under his guidance. So we can call him as main force behind the changed personality of Douglas. Even his victory over fear, we can hold swimming instructor responsible for that. And we can say ultimately his gain of victory over his aqua fear is because of the swimming instructor. So our main character is the narrator of the story. What are his qualities highlighted in this account? See, William Orrible Douglas, He himself is narrator of the story because it is his real life personal account. Okay, some brief information has been given about his personal account that you can highlight. Then next quality which is highlighted is he has been portrayed as overpowered with his fear for deep water. His strong fondness to learn swimming. In spite of being overpowered with his fear, he had a strong penchant to learn swimming, and both are going simultaneously. He has been projected as a man of firm determination and strong willpower to beat the odds or the gaps in his personality. He has been shown as a man of courage and indomitable spirit, of fighting with odds, no surrender to challenges in life, which we can see beautifully projected when he was struggling for survival in the YMCA pool. A strategic thinker and planner. He has been portrayed as a strategic thinker and planner. When he was drowning into the YMCA pool, at that time he was not out of his wits. He was, constantly working on how to come out from this water. He is a dedicated hard worker, and ultimately he is a winner and victorious soul. So we can call him as hero of the story. Now, next part of critical analysis is what is the learning from the lesson. There are n number of life lessons which have been demonstrated by this story. Number one message is importance of a trainer, how to learn swimming and deep water sports properly. Okay, we all know that what mistake William Douglas was committing. The mistake was he was trying on his own to learn swimming, though we all know that he did not know how to swim, and he did not go with proper direction to learn it. That's why many failures came in the beginning. And ultimately, after YMCA pool experience, he moved away from the water bodies. The impact was so deep, but it's so deep that he was not able to face any water body. But if you like something, if you want to do something, and if you have really special attachment to that, fear you can control at some point of time. At that time he took right decision and he appointed a coach for himself, swimming coach for himself. So the learning or the life lesson which is very practical, that swimming is a skill, and if you do not know how to swim, you should always appoint a trainer. And after even appointing a trainer and learning swimming, if you are going for water sports, deep water sports, these are the points you must keep in mind, because all these sports are skill and they require special training specific to that particular sport. Here for deep water sports, what are the points you should keep in mind? Number one, to safely introduce students to the concept and issues involved in safe deep water dive planning. We all know what is this deep water dive planning. It is underwater dive operation, which you can call as scuba diving, snorkeling or swimming. Here, to enable students to visually see and understand pressure volume relationship in deep water. You all have studied in class 10th pressure volume relationship. It both are inversely related, where pressure increases, volume decreases. And when you are going deep into water, we must know the proportion of these two, pressure and volume. Next is to enable students to actually experience the speed with which air is diminished at depth. To learn the proper procedure for emergency and decompression stops. What is decompression stop? It is actually a pause in a diver's ascent made to allow the body to expel dissolved gases, especially nitrogen, in the blood. Without decompression stops, these gases would expand and turning into bubbles and will cause decompression sickness. Read more about decompression stops from your Google. Next point, to learn the indicators on the dive computer. I have already given picture of dive computer, the very first picture. It is used to ascertain necessary or recommended decompression or safety stops. Then to learn deep water ascents and descents. Then to familiarize with neutral buoyancy at depth and to develop within the student the ability to off gas from dry suit or both to ensure consistent, slow, steady ascents and descents. Now here one more term has been introduced, that is buoyancy. What is buoyancy? Buoyancy, it is a safety skill actually. It has multiple medical and diving implications. A diver's air consumption and fatigue both are strongly correlated with their buoyancy control. Ascent and descent in a water column, whether salt or fresh, when controlled, protects the diver from barotrauma of both sinus and middle ears, pulmonary hyperinflation, and reduces the risks of decompression sickness. Now this buoyancy control is so important that it affects and protects both the diver and the marine environment. And the final point is to successfully manage without undue stresses all of the above goals without obvious panic or fear. Okay, I did not read one point, that is to experience the initial edges of the effects of nitrogen compressed at depth, that is narcosis. Initial edges are your bottom of the sea. So after moving from main theme, we find out two sub-themes which are highlighted in the story Deep Water. Number one is psychological analysis of fear. Psychological analysis of fear in a person and also to overcome that fear. Both have psychology of both the persons have been highlighted in the story. Two statements are very important here. Number one, it is not death but the fear of death that scares one and all. Death is peaceful. All we have to fear is the fear itself. And we must fight this phobia or fear, otherwise it will overpower us. Second sub-theme is past memories, whether pleasant or unpleasant. They can leave an indelible or deep impact on human mind. So, we should not create any situation which fill our life with unpleasant memories. In this lesson, the author wants to convey that here we shall go for life lesson 3. This 3 I have divided into two parts, 1 and 2. So 3.1 is fear is a self-created vicious net. Okay, it may be from outside forces, maybe inside forces, but actually it is self-created vicious net. And it is so horrible, it is so dangerous that it hampers our positive physical, mental, emotional and intellectual development. At the same time, we should endeavor not to allow the past fear to spoil our present peace and pleasure. These two things have come out as lesson from the entire depiction of fear in the lesson. Okay, so we should not allow this fear to spoil our present peace and pleasure. Okay, if you see here key quote of this portrayal of fear in the story. So one quote is, tiny vestiges of the old terror would return, but now I could frown and say to that terror, trying to scare me, well, here is to you, look, and off I would go for another length of the pool. This particular instance is when Douglas learned swimming under swimming coach, and swimming coach gave him green signal that now he could go to water bodies alone. Okay, here in the beginning, when he was moving to water bodies, he had that fear. Every time the fear always took away his strength to swim alone. But gradually, with his own self motivation, he overcame that, and the condition was gradually those tiny vestiges, tiny vestige of old terror, they started fading away. And then he was able to speak these words to Mr. Terror. Second is, there is terror only in the fear of death. As Roosevelt knew, and he said, all we have to fear is the fear itself. This line is repeatedly coming because it is, very important lesson from the story. Second part of this third life lesson is, to gain triumph over your fear is a paramount need. We all know it is a vicious net. Now, what is the need here? To gain triumph over your fear. Okay? If we see condition of William Douglas, it was a baseless fear instilled in his subconscious mind. And this experience was very valuable for him. He had experienced terror and death both simultaneously. But he overcame it and finally conquered it. He realized that death is peaceful, and it is the fear of death that is terrorizing the person. His will to live life grew intensely and immensely as he had overcome his fear and started living fearlessly. In the words of Douglas, last two paragraphs of your text, I had experienced both sensation of dying and the terror that fear of it can produce. The will to live somehow grew in intensity. It means once fear is vanished, person starts loving life and faces challenging acts, brushing aside his fear. Life lesson 4, which is very important. Life is beautiful and precious when you realize it. Okay, once the fear is overcome. The experience of fear and death and its conquest made him live intensely. Conquering fear made him realize the true value of life. How God has given us this beautiful human body and we should value it. And this helped him enjoy every moment of his living. And he finally learned to live the life to the fullest. He could. At last I felt released, free to walk the trails and climb the peaks and to brush aside fear. Okay, means he was able to do more difficult task, but now fearlessly, because there was no fear or terror of death, because he knows that death is inevitable. And that's what the learning, my dear children, for you also. Life is really beautiful and precious. Do not spoil it because of this fear. If you have any fear, start right now and start fighting with this fear and eliminate completely from your personality. Do not do any unproductive work. Lesson 5 is 2 powerful pillars in your inner personality to make you victorious and to beat odds in your life and to achieve your goal and mission. These 2 pillars are firm determination with dedication, and second is strong willpower. If we again check William Douglas here, from this particular example which I have given here, as a result of an unfortunate incident with a bully, the writer had developed an extreme fear of water. However, he decides to face his fear and works hard until he becomes a good swimmer. This is the product of firm determination with dedication and strong willpower. He encounters the fear again and again by deliberately challenging himself to swim in various places. In this way, he is able to get rid of his fear completely. So this is not, confined only for William Douglas, This is actually generalized and it is applied to each and every person who is reading this account. And you have, see my dear children, you have excessive of energy, and if this energy is channelized in right direction, wonders will happen on this earth. So that's what the learning Mr. Douglas is giving to you. Now let us proceed further. Different parts of critical analysis. Odds. Life lesson 6, that is positive aspect of failures. Failures are the stepping stones of success. Failure in one field becomes the cause of exploring success in another field. It makes us familiar with our weaknesses and flaws, and these failures become stepping stones and inspires us to fight against odd circumstances. One should never give up one's objective. Failure inspires to work with more dedication, hard work and better strength. One should never be influenced by depression and disappointment in failures. All great personalities, if we see, they have got success but they have faced some kind of failure in their field at some point of time. Lesson is, to gain triumph over your fear is a paramount need. We all know it is a vicious net. Now what is the need here? To gain triumph over your fear. Okay, if we see condition of William Douglas, it was a baseless fear instilled in his subconscious mind, and this experience was very valuable for him. He had experienced terror and death both simultaneously, but he overcame it and finally conquered it. He realized that death is peaceful and it is the fear of death that is terrorizing the person. His will to live life grew intensely and immensely as he had overcome his fear and started living fearlessly. In the words of Douglas, last 2 paragraphs of your text, I had experienced both sensation of dying and the terror that fear of it can produce. The will to live somehow grew in intensity. It means once fear is vanished, person starts loving life and faces challenging acts, brushing aside his fear. Okay, now the final part of the story is justify the title of the story, Deep Water. Okay, this you can, all the points you can read which are important to justify the title. In short, I can say, I am not going to read the slide. In Deep Water, see each and every incident, each and every character, each and every object in the story actually revolving around deep water. So the title is quite apt and appropriate. Line by line, if you see all these points, they are sufficient and very strong to justify the title of the story, Deep Water. Now the home assignment, read the story once again, okay, at home from the detailed notes I will be sending. To complete in your notebook all the NCERT questions and answers. Okay, the notes will be sent to you. Thank you very much. The lesson ends here and story is complete.